The Nationals lead in the East down to 2 games, but they are getting healthy. Saturday, Anthony Rendon returned. Tonight, they welcome back Ryan Zimmerman and Jason Worth. If you need another reason to watch, how about Jordan Zimmerman and Jose Fernandez matching up on the mound? Game 1 from South Florida, up next on MASN. So on this road trip, it's on to South Florida. Welcome to Marlins Park. First of 3, couple of night games, a day game Thursday. Nats fans, everywhere we go, we can find them in the seats. So this is Get Deeper, Get Healthy Day for the Nats. First of all, the bullpen gets a little deeper. FP not confirmed yet, but all the reports have Jonathan Papelbon coming to the Nats, thus the deeper bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, you have a 1.59 ERA you're adding to your bullpen. 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, less than 2 walks per 9. So Jonathan Papelbon missing bats this year, having one of his best years ever. And everyone talking about who's going to close, poor Drew Storen. Well, yeah, I understand all that, but this makes the bullpen better as a group. This makes that team down there that comes into the game, the bullpen, better. It makes the 25-man roster better, and you also have some World Series experience. So This is a great move by Mike Rizzo and the Nats. We'll see how it all plays out, but an exciting day nonetheless because the ball club got better. Yeah, and that postseason experience definitely has to meet something. Now the getting healthy part. Couple of new guys are back tonight, Jason Worth and Ryan Zimmerman. Been a long time since the guys have been without them. Left wrist for Worth, the left foot, the plantar fasciitis for Ryan Zimmerman. Bryce Harper needs to get those guys back around him in the lineup. Yeah, and talking about getting better today, I mean, look at these acquisitions for no prospects. And it's the first time, here's your stat of the night. It's the first time since May 15th the Nats have had 7 regulars in the lineup. They still haven't had all 8 regulars in the lineup yet this year. So the lineup gets stronger, the bullpen gets stronger. Game on, here we go. The Mets are nipping at their heels, and the ball club just got better today. And by the way, the first time Anthony Rendon gets to play with those 2 guys in the regular season. Bench guys kept the ball club afloat. Clint Robinson, Tyler Moore, Danny Espinosa. Michael A. Taylor, though, may be the most individual spectacular moments lately. Yeah, I mean, we've watched him get better from when he got called up last year to the beginning of this season. And why has he gotten better? Well, he just played more. He's relaxed. He's fitting in. He knows that his game plays at this level. So whether it's leading off and getting on base, whether it's stealing 11 bases or making spectacular plays in center field, Michael Taylor is on display, and he's a budding young superstar that's really finding his groove, and he's helped this ball club immensely. Yeah, and he's a clutch guy, too. He plays great defense. I'm sure watching Denard Span for a couple of years hasn't hurt in that. 8 hits his last 5 games, 404 now with runners in scoring position. Hops over a whole bunch of established veterans to lead in that department. And oh, by the way, Taylor in the field tonight for what looks like a fairly nice pitching matchup here in Miami. They throw first pitch at 10 after here, so we'll talk more about these guys in segment 2. But there's Jordan Zimmerman, 8-5, and then Jose Fernandez, 3-0. He has never been beaten in this ballpark. Can it happen tonight?
PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Night Point Systems, they offer the technology you need when you need it. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. As usual, late in the day, some clouds on the horizon, but we're indoors, nice and comfortable. Dan Jennings, that is not Giancarlo Stanton, but that guy loves his jersey. And without him, the Marlins are 11-13. Their offense struggling. They just scored 4 runs in a 3-game series at San Diego. Jordan Zimmermann, 2-0 last 5 starts against the Fish with a 1.54 ERA and some other good numbers that extend out further than that. And since coming back from Tommy John surgery, Jose Fernandez, 4 starts, he's 1-3, and he has a 2.77 ERA. So Jordan Zimmermann in this ballpark, FB, it's a place where you can challenge people, and that's what he likes to do.
That's what he does best. Since May of 2012, get this, folks, Jordan Zimmermann 7-0 with a 2.58 and 13 starts against the Marlins. And that guy hasn't lost in Marlins Park. Look at those numbers, 14-0 with a 1.17. Everybody telling me he hasn't missed a beat after Tommy John surgery.
And he had the nerve to tell somebody over the weekend he feels like he throws better on the road sometimes. Who will throw the best here? Nats defense, Nats hitting with Ian Desmond coming alive lately. He's got a couple of established teammates back in the lineup. Taylor's been great. Pitching's been solid. Here come the Nats. And the Marlins trying to avenge a 3-game sweep in this ballpark earlier this season. Great to see Ryan Zimmerman back in there with Jason Worth, getting the gang back together. And here's how many games the guys have played. Rendon only 20, Worth 7 more than that, Zimmerman about twice that, and Denard Span, even he has only played 59 games this year.
Yeah, like I said in the open, this is the first time since May 15th that there's 7 regulars in the lineup, and they still haven't had all 8. So the band almost back together, and I don't know if it's a veteran move by Jason Worth or Ryan Zimmerman to come back and face Jose Fernandez. They should have waited one more day.
They want to play the best right now. So it's Rendon now, the leadoff man. Escobar, he's been hitting all year. And then Worth, Harper, and Zimmerman, those guys surrounding Bryce. Then Desmond, Ramos, and Taylor. So number 3 and number 5, great to have them back in there. And Ryan's always hit well in Miami. I mean, going back to the old football stadium, he did a lot of career damage in that joint as well. Jose Fernandez, career 19-8.
And get this, his last start of the 22nd against Arizona, he only threw the fastball 44% of the time. So you see the season numbers. He threw the slider 41% of the time, changeup 15. So really relied on the slider in his last start. He struck out 11 Diamondbacks, walked 2. He won that ball game, giving up 3 runs on 5 hits. So the defense for the Marlins tonight behind Fernandez, Dietrich, Yelich, Ichiro, the outfield. Echeverria, Prado, left side, Gordon, McGee, right side, and JT Realmuto behind the plate.
Yeah, D. Gordon back from a dislocated left thumb he suffered 17 days ago. How about this? He goes on the DL, he comes back, and he's still leading the league in hitting. Kind of crazy. In hits, rather. In hitting, he's number 2 to Paul Goldschmidt. But this guy is some kind of hitter, 122 base hits. Dan Jennings from the front office down to the dugout on the firing of Mike Redmond, which something that took everybody in baseball, I think, by surprise when it actually happened. Jeff Kellogg, 35th year in the big leagues. He's the crew chief. Ben May, Alan Porter, Mark Ripperger on the bags.
So there's a lot of headlines in this game, but you don't want to bury the lead. This is a wonderful pitching matchup here tonight between Jose Fernandez and Jordan Zimmermann, a guy that no-hit him last year. Game on. Here we go.
We're underway at 7-11 with a ball to Rendon. Anthony 0 for 3 career against Jose Fernandez, who's 1-0 career in 3 starts against the Nats with an 0.45 ERA and 2-0 on a couple of pitches close. Speaking of pitching matchups, up in New York tonight, James Shields for San Diego and Noah Syndergaard for the Mets. And then the Marlins play the Mets after the Nats take them on. Jordan Zimmermann all set to go for his 20th career start against Miami. 2-1 to Rendon. Breaking ball in the air, center field. Yelich. Marcell Ozuna is in the minor leagues. He was not hitting at AAA. He's been doing better. Should be back soon. Huge ballpark. Left center 384. 422 out to the deepest part of that crazy triangle out there. 392 right center. A pitcher's paradise, even if you're a fly ball guy. Christian Yelich now covering the ground out there that Ozuna used to. Yelich was their left fielder. Here's Escobar. Got a breaking ball. Off to the right it goes.
And who's the new guy on deck?
Looks familiar.
Looks real familiar. Good to see him back.
Fastball up. Obviously, Unell has an attack approach to facing this kid tonight.
Well, Jose Fernandez has an attack approach to everybody he faces. An easy 97 right there.
3 days short of another birthday. He'll be 23 on the last day of the month. Escobar hustling. Echeverria, who hasn't made an error in 33 games, throws him out.
Well, he's the Gold Glove shortstop for me. And here comes Jason Worth. We've been waiting, and here he is.
So Jason out 61 ball games, hurt May 15th at San Diego. He was 21 for 101 in 27 games. A couple of homers and 12 RBIs at the time of that injury. 1 for 8 career against Jose Fernandez, but it's a home run, and he's driven in 4 against this right-hander. Fernandez taken quite a while and Worth asking for time. Jeff Kellogg gave it to him. And I don't know, with Jason, maybe it doesn't matter who's on the mound. He wants to see some pitches.
No, we joked about a veteran move and coming back against Fernandez, but you want to face the best right out of the gate. I mean, you always want to face guys like Jose Fernandez. So, yeah, been waiting around, couldn't wait to get back into this game.
0-2.
98 was cut. You see that move away from Worth at the end?
Nasty. Career ERA 2.30 in 40 starts. 1.71 in this ballpark. Where FP told you he's won all 14 decisions. Worth right field, short right field, near the line, and it's just foul. Maybe a foot or two.
That was a double, too.
San Diego, May 15th. I mean, that thing just tracking him, no way to get out of the way.
But he told me he was just all in on a slider down the way, and he started to dive out for the slider, and when he started to swing, he realized it was a two-seam fastball running up and in, and that's all he could do.
That was his second time up against Odrisamer Despaigne, and the Nats clubbed him for 7 runs in 3 innings that day. Worth extending, can't reach the big breaking ball. The Nats go 1-2-3. So we'll see Harper, Zimmermann, Desmond next inning. For now, it's Jordan going to work. First, left, and second defensively. Marlins are 6th in the league, hitting .254. 13th, though, in runs. 12th in home runs. They missed Giancarlo, obviously. Martin Prado, he's a guy that hits a lot of good pitchers. .391 on 9 hits, a couple of RBIs against Jordan Zimmerman. Casey McGee picked up off the scrap heap from the Giants, their cleanup guy. And here's Zimmerman, 20th start against Miami.
Yeah, this year the fastball's averaging 93, slider 87, curveball 80. Rarely throws the change, if ever. 21st start of the year for Jordan. Opponents hitting .271. And if you remember the Marlins' strategy, I should say, or game plan against Jordan Zimmerman, it's hack. They're coming out swinging. They're not waiting for anything. That's what they've done every single time they've faced him.
There it is. D. Gordon off the DL after 17 days and his 123rd hit. Plus, he's a terror on the bases with 33 steals.
Yeah, not waiting around for anything. First pitch of the game, first game back, like you said, Carp swinging at a fastball down the middle, and Escobar had to play in because of the speed. And now you got to worry about him stealing second base. He's got 33 steals on the year. He's been caught 12 times.
Yeah, and that's second in the league to the 46 of Billy Hamilton. Here's Martin Prado. He's very good in the number 2 spot. Reminds you a lot of Escobar on our side. Line drive hitter, handles the bat, moves it around. So he brings that .391 average against Jordan here, hitting .273. There just aren't many like D. Gordon in baseball anymore. The true leadoff guys who can slap it around and run. Fun to watch unless you're facing them. That hit will get him up around 340. D. Gordon in his career 169 stolen bases in his 5th year in the big leagues. At 64 last year. Close. Zimmerman got the throw down to Ryan, and Gordon had to really get back in there.
Remember the Nats handled D. Gordon last time they were down here in Miami. They threw him out a few times, and Randy Norback really does a nice job handling the running game. And those throwovers aren't designed to pick off Gordon. They're just trying to buy one more pitch that he won't go.
He took a jab step towards second, forcing Jordan to step off. And the crowd picking up on the disruption here. Long hold by Jordan. Then I thought I heard some wise guy in the stands blowing a whistle.
Well, Prado was asking for timeout. You might have heard that. He said time, time, time. And Jeff Kellogg didn't grant him time, and Jordan Zimmerman stole a strike. He wasn't ready to hit. You saw Prado turn around to Kellogg right after the pitch. Didn't give him timeout. He called it too late.
Yeah, umpire doesn't have to. 1-2 now.
That's a good jump.
All he's got to do is step off and throw. And D. Gordon leaving way too early. 1-4 to Rendon.
And we talked about this last time, but what a great job by Jordan Zimmerman to step off. I've seen so many pitchers, even at the highest level, panic right here when a base stealer leaves too soon. And that's communication between the middle infield, maybe Wilson Ramos and Jordan Zimmerman. You yell step off. We did a whole replay thing on this last time. You don't yell there he goes. You don't freak out. You just simply yell step off. And that's telling Jordan Zimmerman that he left too early. He stepped off, fed it to Anthony Rendon. Perfectly done right there to catch D. Gordon.
Caught for the 13th time this year. And now, of course, Jordan returns to the full windup against Prado. And the count 2-2.
If you freak out as an infield there and you say, there he goes, and everyone's screaming, the pitcher can balk. I've seen him throw one halfway up the screen. But if you yell simply, very calmly, step off, it tells him that he's left too early. And that's exactly what Jordan did. That was perfect.
Busted bat, base hit. Prado's a contact man. That's what he does. 10 for 24 career against Jordan Zimmerman.
So the defense for the Nats tonight behind Jordan, Jason Worth, Michael Taylor, Bryce Harper, the outfield, Ian Desmond, Yunel Escobar left side, Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman the right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate. There's Jason Worth back in left field. Ryan Zimmerman at first base.
And here's Christian Yelich.
Walked by Matt Williams today in the dugout. Said, nice lineup tonight. You're a good manager. Started laughing.
Christian Yelich is signed through the year 2021. They gave him a big deal. Like him a lot. Former minor league organization player of the year. And he's hitting .312 in this ballpark. Great breaking ball by Zimmerman. Big curve at 80. No balls, 2 strikes. Yelich's problem has been on the road, .229. But trending well over the last 5 weeks. Prado's short lead. And of course, the matchup of this pitcher and this hitter will live in Nats history. Yelich, the one who hit the ball out to left center that Steven Souza Jr. caught last year at the end of the no-hitter. Another breaking ball. Tapper right side. Jordan to Ryan. First baseman starter for the ball, and then Ryan realized his teammate had it.
2 Zimmermans on the same field for the first time in a month and a half. And you look at Giancarlo Stanton. This season, 74 games. The home runs 27, RBI 67. And he's getting close, folks. He's about ready to go on a rehab assignment here soon. He'll be back shortly.
Casey McGee started the year with the Giants. Hit .213 there. Marlins, of course, need some help. Signed him as a free agent 18 days ago, and he's hit .212 here in 13 games with 4 batted in.
Strange that the Marlins signed Michael Morse from the Giants to a 2-year deal. The Giants released Casey McGee. Michael Morse on the bench, and Casey McGee starting.
Replaces him, yeah.
And I watched Michael Morse take batting practice today. The Beast folks are still hitting him as far as ever. He hit one over that thing out in left center field and just launching balls left and right.
Yeah, Morse battling a very puzzling .214. Of course, when you don't get to play on any kind of regular basis, how do you find any rhythm? That ball is hit hard. Anthony Rendon has it. And Jordan Zimmerman gives up a couple of hits, but the caught stealing helps. Bryce Harper is now the cleanup man again. Ryan Zimmerman, then Ian Desmond. How about those bats?
It's time for a little American Standard Who's Hot, Who's Not. Highest on base percentage since June 11th. Guy we just showed you, Bryce Harper, number 2 with a .453 on base percentage. The first 2 guys, maybe Buster Posey in the mix for NL MVP.
Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Here's Bryce. 0 for 4 career with a couple of walks against Fernandez. Misses low and in with that first pitch fastball.
All of a sudden, Bryce Harper's lineup got a little bit deeper, although Clint Robinson did a whale of a job while he had an opportunity of protecting Bryce Harper. He still saw some pitches to hit, but now with the lineup a little bit deeper.
Yeah, how about the bench now? Robinson, Moore, Ugla, Espinoza. Well done, Clint. 2-0, and Bryce was not biting on what appeared to be a changeup, fading away from him at 89 for strike one.
Yeah, power changeup is what Jose Fernandez features. This one looked like it tailed out of the zone.
Mercedes-Benz tracking it, and then he drops a breaking ball on Bryce. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harper working on a 23-game on-base streak and 42 on the road. Evidently, the rosin bag was in the line of sight of the umpire, so Fernandez had to kick it down the back side of the mound. 2-2 pitch. You know, that's a big rip.
He doesn't use the rosin bag, Fernandez, on a regular basis, because growing up in Cuba they didn't have rosin bags, but he's been using it a little bit of late. I watched his first game back. You usually see his right leg all dirty, but it's something that he rarely goes to. You just saw him do it.
Target in.
Oh, nice play.
Pitches all over the place in this AB.
That might have made up for the changeup away.
Yeah, that was similar to the first pitch. So Jeff Kellogg gave one side of the plate, not the other.
Tried to run it back. Close, but no cigar.
And a 3-2, and Bryce does a good job of fouling off an off-speed pitch, a curveball. On deck, Ryan Zimmerman, and then Ian Desmond. Tell you what, that's a slider with a lot of break, isn't it?
Yeah. Hard, too.
Outside, good at bat by Bryce. That'll be his 73rd walk of the year, and the on-base streak now goes to 24 games and 43 on the road. Harper was walked twice in the Pittsburgh series. And here comes Ryan Zimmerman now, out 49 ball games. And Ryan's early part of the season was really interesting. He wasn't hitting for high average, but until he got hurt, he was in the top 10 consistently in runs batted in. Fastball in there. 2 for 6 career against Jose Fernandez. Looked like he stopped. He did. In there. With the moves today, Emmanuel Burris and Matt Dendecker were sent back to Syracuse, and hats off to those guys for their contributions on a part-time basis while they were here. 2 big guns back in the lineup tonight. And a 1-2. Zimmerman out of play, right side. Good hack.
Well, I mean, you talk about everyone coming back. The team got better today in a lot of different areas, with, you know, Zimmerman, Worth coming back, Anthony Rendon in leadoff spot, Jonathan Papelbon added to the bullpen. Whatever you think about the move with Jonathan Papelbon, the ball club got better. The bullpen got better today.
That is just foul.
And that's the most important thing. I mean, you have 3 sub-2 guys in the bullpen now. With Matt Thornton 1.46, Drew Storen 1.29, and Jonathan Papelbon with a 1.59.
And then if you back it up to the 7th inning, if that's the way it shakes out, Casey Janssen throwing the ball the best he has all year. That's a hanging breaking ball, and Zimmerman crushes it to left field. Harper wants to score until Bob Henley stops him, and he will stop at third. And Ryan Zimmerman got around on that beautifully. So he checks in with double number 13. Ryan has 19 extra base hits.
Well, there goes the no-hitter man with Ryan Zimmerman, a double down the left field line. You're wondering if Bryce Harper was going to score right here, but Derek Dietrich, normally an infielder, does a nice job of getting over and cutting this ball off. If it gets to the wall, Bob Henley's looking. That ball gets to the wall, he sends Bryce Harper, but Dietrich got there, got the ball back in. Now it's up to Ian Desmond with nobody out. They try to get Bryce Harper and maybe even Ryan Zimmerman home.
Get a run or two early in this game, it would be huge. 7-game hitting streak for Ian. Front door breaking ball stays up and in. 11 for 24. 4 of those 11 hits homers. He's driven in 7. 4 walks during that time. And he has scored 8 runs. .97 foul tip.
He's trying to move Ryan Zimmerman to third with a ground ball to second at least. That'll score Bryce Harper, get both jobs done. But a lot easier said than done against the guy that throws 97, 98.
Pitches, 9 strikes, first inning, but the Nats have Fernandez working hard here in the second.
A different lineup to cut through now for whomever's is out there on the mound. I mean, and not that the other lineup was bad, but you got guys that are going to make you work now. Up and down the lineup. Jason Worth, Ryan Zimmerman, Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon. Michael Taylor's been battling with 2 strikes, so it's just a little different when you have 1 or 2 threats in a lineup versus 5 or 6 if you're pitching against any ball club.
Concern on the face of Dan Jennings. Marlins were swept in San Diego over the weekend. Back home, and Desmond can't reach the big breaking ball. 85. Second strikeout. Bar Jose, who has swing and miss stuff to go with, and now it's Ramos.
Join the Nats right here in Miami the next time the Nats come down here, September 11th through the 13th. They take on the Marlins, obviously. It's the travel package. Your Nationals destination package includes game tickets, hotel accommodations, VIP ballpark tour, and Bob Carpenter and his Mass and Speedo. Visit nationals.com/destinations for details. And you guys, book the trip right now.
Here's Ramos.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Jose Fernandez has got that other gear thing going right here. This is when you got to spread out and just put one in play. Marlins infield back. Don't try to do too much. Play Pepper for a run.
Ramos 17 RBIs. Last 30 games. Target outer half. Ball's outside 1-1. Wilson is 1 for 4 career against Fernandez. He's produced a lot against the Fish. Nats swept here. 1-2 out of 3 over Miami at home. Got a bunch of games left with these guys. Ooh, that was a breaking ball that was up and hanging a bit. Wilson couldn't get to it.
And see Fernandez shaking his head right there. He knows he got away with the pitch. Kind of a hanger right here. Wilson Ramos just underneath it, but he was on time. It's not where Fernandez wanted the pitch, obviously.
Ramos gets a piece of it. Suzuki. Harper tagging. Here comes Bryce. The throw-off line cut off. Nationals lead 1-0. That's a great RBI on a 2-strike pitch by Wilson Ramos, his 42nd.
Yeah, especially against a strikeout guy in Jose Fernandez. And he got a pitch earlier in the count. The slider we just showed you fouled that off, but stayed with the at-bat nicely. Put the ball in play and gave the Nats a 1-0 lead. Nice at-bat by Wilson Ramos.
Ryan Zimmerman staying at second base on that ball that was cut off. And here's the number 8 guy, Michael A. Taylor. 404 runners in scoring position. And he lifts one to left. Going back DIETRICH. Now circling back this way a little. And he's got it. The Nats turn a Harper walk and a Zimmerman double in to the first run of the game.
The trade deadline is an exciting time for fans as they stay abreast on all the latest rumors involving their team. But what's it like for the players as they in the clubhouse are hearing various things about what their team may or may not do before the non-waiver trade deadline? I talked to a few guys about it today. Doug Fister and Ryan Zimmerman both said that they don't particularly monitor things. Fister said he specifically does not. He stays away from it and tries to never pay attention to it. He said that can be tough in this day and age with Twitter, with MLB Network always on the clubhouse TVs. But so much of the information is false that Fister tries to stay away from it as much as possible. Interestingly enough, though, Casey Jansen told me he tracks it. He's a fan of the game, and he thinks it's fascinating, the whole process of how deals go down. Said he'd love to be a fly on the wall to see how the trades come together, and it's a fun time if you're contending. It's probably stressful if you're on the verge of potentially getting traded as you hear your name kicked around a little bit. But he's excited to hear how things might go around the league and how the Nationals might bolster things to boost their playoff run, guys.
Thank you, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. And Casey addressing something that affects him directly, the addition of a guy right next to him in the bullpen now, once it becomes official.
I just think it's hilarious, everybody's reactions to trades.
Busted bat. That's at least the second one Zimmerman's broken here. And an easy grab for Ian Desmond.
That's a great trade. That's a horrible. You don't know until the season's over and the body of work is completed. How many people got excited about all the Padres moves in the offseason or the Red Sox moves in the offseason? Just like the trades right now, good trade, bad trade, no trade, it doesn't matter until the season's over. That's when you judge these trades, not right now before they work or don't work. you can't get excited about any of them, and you can't get upset about any of them until you see the results.
Here's JT Realmuto, one of the hottest Miami hitters right now, with an 8-game hitting streak, 11 hits. For this good-looking 24-year-old catcher. What a good slider by Jordan Zimmerman. Realmuto, a third-rounder 5 years ago. 270 hitter in the minor leagues. Debuted here for 11 games last year, hit 241.
I mean, is a Papelbon trade a good one? We'll see.
Yeah.
Does it look good on paper? Absolutely. But we'll see at the end of the year. Is the Johnny Cueto trade a good one? I mean, go down the list. I don't know. We'll see.
That's another funny sound off of a bat. Desmond throws out Realmuto in 2 outs now, and that's 4 straight. Suzuki coming up.
Bob, it's time for you to tweet your strongest photo using hashtag #NatsCouchCam, because you did have a day off in Miami yesterday.
No
you
couch.
just might see yourself at an upcoming broadcast.
Now, maybe your room has a couch, but mine doesn't.
That is brought to you by T-Mobile.
Maybe your room has one.
The beach did not have a couch yesterday. But if it did, I would have been on it.
Ichiro is struggling. He's 12 hits short of 2,900. One for his last 23. 0 for 15 within that.
Yes.
Wow.
And he had an 0 for 29 stretch that ended July 8th at Fenway Park.
Tries to slap it to left center, but it's in the air. Cruising over for it, Michael A. Taylor. And a very quick bottom of the second for Jordan Zimmerman. He'll lead off in the third, enjoying a 1-0 lead. We cruise into the third.
That's
college. Carlos Zambrano, you hang it, he'll bang it. Jordan Zimmerman, first and only to this date career home run in one of the biggest parks in the majors, with one of the highest walls in the major leagues. About 11 feet to the top of that thing out there.
Who was playing left field? That's serious hops right there. Definitely could dunk.
This is before Christian Yelich, I believe. Here's Jordan. I've got that as the first time a pitcher has homered off of a pitcher and their last names both began with Z. I don't think that's ever happened other than that.
Yeah, good call.
And Jordan taken all the way, 2 balls, 1 strike. The Nats made Jose Fernandez throw 24 pitches in that second inning. The leadoff walk to Bryce Harper. Got it going. And Jordan's going to try to drop one to center, but Yelich was playing very shallow. Bat shattered, 1 out, top of the third.
Did Barry Zito hit a home run in his career?
He would have had to probably hit one off Carlos Zambrano.
Zambrano.
And Zambrano could hack. I know he had a bunch of career home
Maybe
runs.
he hit one off Barry Zito.
Never know. We've just kept our audience busy for the next half hour or so.
Things that you didn't know would come up in the broadcast.
I know. When I woke up this morning, I didn't even think of that. Anthony Rendon, a fly ball to center first time. Ooh, and that one got Jeff Kellogg right over the left shoulder of the catcher. This guy's been a major league umpire for 34 plus years, and that was not pleasant.
Ooh, right in the mask. Got him in the mask.
Wow. So Real Muto goes out to the mound to give the umpire some time. Jeff dazed there for a moment. It's one of the best umpires in Major League Baseball right there. I don't know how you stay on your feet after that. Rendon, high drive, deep left center. DIETRICH and Yelich, and the center fielder called it. DIETRICH peeling off.
Ball was hit. That's that same bent arm swing that Anthony Rendon went upper deck in San Diego last year at Petco Park, and he got all of that. Didn't get extension on it, but that's a home run in a lot of ballparks. Doesn't really get extended on this. Pulls his hands in nice. It had the sound. Such a quick bat in there, and a mid-90s fastball, and look how far this ball carries.
It was close to 390 where Yelich caught that.
Center fielders always have priority over their outfielders, whether it's a left fielder or right fielder. They call it, they got it.
Escobar was hacking first pitch. His first time up, hit a ball to short. 5 in a row now by Fernandez since the Zimmerman double. Mets, by the way, drew first blood in that game against James Shields. 2-0 New York early. We'll keep you posted on Shields and Syndergaard at Citi Field. The 2-1 pitch. Held on too long.
Became pretty evident why the Mets went out and got Tyler Clippard today, didn't it?
Henry Mejia suspended 162 games.
Gonna have to reel himself in now.
Yeah, he got reeled in on that deal, didn't he? Breaking ball way outside, and Real Muto didn't even come close to catching it.
I think
Second walk.
Carp, I think he might have crossed him up. He's going to go out there, and with nobody on, you rarely see this. But watch the wiffle ball slider from Jose Fernandez. Look at this ball break. And the reason Real Muto didn't catch it, he might have put down one.
That'll get Jason Worth to the plate here in the third. Ooh. High heater, 96. Pretty big hack.
Yeah, quick swing on that. And the strength, the last thing to come in Jason Worth's wrist. You know, first of all, it starts to feel better, and then now you got to strengthen it. That's why he had the rehab assignments, and it's feeling good.
The Nats are going to get Fernandez up to at least 50 pitches in 3 innings.
Yeah, good point. They're making him work. Really making him work.
Breaking ball drops in, a beauty. Nissan will track it.
Little slider right here from Fernandez. Starts right at Jason Worth. Catches the inside corner.
Gave him another one. He had Worth reaching, and that's out to Echeverria. The Nats are gone in the top of the third. Had a couple of walks and a double. They've left 2 base runners and lead 1-0.
Manassas, Virginia down here. Horrible place to come vacation, this Miami. I'll tell you, these beaches down here are just awful. There's some red people. I love it. 1-0, bottom of the third. At Astros Park for the 5th 10-year Tuesday of the season. That's Tuesday, August 4th. That's play the Diamondbacks 7:05 start. First 10,000 fans. You get a collectible 10-year anniversary replica 2005 ticket. You see it on the right there. That is cool. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your ticket today.
DIETRICH, bottom of the third. It's one well to right. Harper back over. He's got it. That's 6 straight now for Jordan Zimmermann, who will face Jose Fernandez. A lot to like about that shortstop we just saw. Fernandez can hack 2 hits, a homer this year. Hit a homer in his rookie season last year, the famous home run that led to the confrontation with Brian McCann and the Braves when they thought he styled it a little too much.
And then he hit the home run in his return from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
I think that was against the Giants and Matt Cain.
First pitch swinging. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Jordan Zimmermann here, 3rd inning. So I would think D. Gordon will take his time getting into the box. We'll see how he works the count.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Huh? Stop by any Cox Solution stores right now throughout Virginia for your free Bob Carpenter t-shirt. See you later. Visit Cox.com for your nearest store. You do not need to be a Cox customer. Just go get your free Bob Carpenter t-shirt. I love it. Well deserved, partner. I like it.
Biggest cheeks of any broadcaster in baseball on that one.
Small head.
And I got to admit, that one caught me by surprise.
Yeah, me too. They just handed it to me. I read it. I'm like, hey, all right, my partner's got a t-shirt.
D. Gordon takes a strike. He was hacking on the first pitch he saw tonight. Clean single to left. Strike 2.
I still think you should use it on strikeouts when a Nats pitcher strikes somebody out. That's just my opinion.
I'll take it up with the editorial board. See what they think. Comebacker. Jordan seemingly hanging in the air while that ball was coming to him. A 5-pitch inning and a 1-2-3 gets us into the middle innings here.
Ryan Zimmermann, ringing double down the left field line. Then runners on second and third, 1 out. Wilson Ramos with 2 strikes does a nice job of staying through that slider from Jose Fernandez, a strikeout guy. He puts it in play. Bryce Harper tags. 1-0 Nats, and that's where we're at.
1-1-0 Nats, 0-2-0 Marlins. Bryce has been on base again. He'll lead off here now. 24 games in a row. The Zimmermann 13th double, a lucky one for the Nats. Jordan Zimmermann, 5-pitch third, 28 pitches, 19 strikes. Breaking ball stays outside to Bryce, who walked leading off the second and then scored his league leading 65th run. Most runs in baseball, 75 by Mike Trout. There's that changeup, 2-0. So Bryce, 7 career plate appearances against Fernandez. 2 strikeouts, 0 for 4, but 3 walks now. Good take, all 3. Now he likes that 4 spot, and Matt Williams likes putting him in there. But with all those guys out, Matt really needed Bryce to get an at bat in the first inning every night. Taking on 3-0.
So you get 3-1 fastball?
That's the question. Because whatever he throws in the next pitch, probably throwing the one after that, right?
Possibly. Pretty good average on 3-1 count.
Are they throwing underhand on 3-1? Well, that was 90. That's not the heater. Took a little bit off it.
Those stats can be misleading. You foul balls off at 3-1 counts. You walk at 3-1 counts. So those are balls put into play.
How about the battles between these two in the years to come?
I would just one time like to see a pitcher that throws 98. Look at a guy, give him a nod, and the hitter look out there, give him a nod, and we're just going fastballs. Here's my 98 against your swing, and that's all you're seeing this whole at bat. Let's do this. Doesn't happen very often anymore.
Breaking ball. Bryce called out. He thought it was outside. He had put his bat down, was about ready to take off the shin guard, and now he'll pick up the bat and head for the dugout.
You know what? He's usually right when we look at pitch track. Let's see if the slider came back. Sometimes Bryce Harper has a better eye than the umpires, and that one did stay outside, and he was right.
That's interesting because a better breaking ball earlier in the count was called a ball. Bryce was getting some heckling from the first row as he went into the dugout. Here's Zimmerman. So bottom line is the strike 3 call was a worse pitch than ball 3. Fastball whistling in there at 97.
That's a power change at 90. You see a thing dive and dart. And it seems to be the pitch. Zach Greinke has one. Obviously Steven Strasburg with the power changeup. Just grip it lightly and throw it as hard as you can. These big arms throw at 90.
There's a breaking ball, and Ryan doesn't like that call. He thought it was inside. Hitters know it's tough enough facing this guy without him getting any help. Mercedes could have gone either way. That's low.
That strikeout of Bryce Harper seems to have energized Jose Fernandez, who's very excitable, but has been very calm on the mound throughout this game so far.
3-2. That's ball 4, and Jose Fernandez has walked his 3rd batter. Zimmerman on twice, and let's check in with Dan.
Bob, a lot of deep counts for the Nationals so far tonight. That's the way they want it pretty much any game, but they especially want it tonight against Jose Fernandez. Fernandez has been on a pitch count in his first handful of starts back from Tommy John surgery. So Matt Williams said before the game, our goal is to get that pitch count up quick. 64 right now, just with 1 out recorded here in the 4th inning. The Nats want to work deep. They want to make Fernandez work hard, and they want to get him out of this ball game as soon as they can.
Well, pretty well done so far. Coming into this game, 26 innings this month, 32 strikeouts, 3 walks by the right-hander.
Well, how do you do that, though? Yeah, it's a nice game plan. Get his pitch count up. But how do you do that as a hitter? And if you're wondering at home, it's 1 pitch in 1 zone, and everything else you're taking. So you get really specific. You used to call it keyholing them. I mean, look for the ball in a spot as big as a keyhole, and that's where you want to hit it. And if it's anywhere else, you're taking it. And that's how you should hit on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
But against the elite guys that can be wild at times, 1 pitch, 1 spot, lay off everything else. Get the pitch count up.
And hope you're not 0-2. which it is right now with one out to Desmond. And the breaking ball gets him again. 4 Ks for Fernandez. He and Desmond swinging twice. Marlins Park. Man, it's hot outside here today. 77 degrees, a little muggy indoors, but we're not complaining. BCFP DK, first of a 3-game series, and the 5th game of this 10-game road trip. It'll take us from here to Citi Field in New York. Wilson Ramos, the game's RBI. Fly ball to right field, back in the second, scoring Harper. Ramos straight to center, and Yelich almost let it go over his glove. And if that happens, Ryan Zimmerman would have scored easily. Big time line drive by Ramos. The ball had another gear. We're in Little Havana, just west of downtown Miami. Jordan thought he'd given up a double. Steven Souza Jr. had other ideas, and it was the first no-hitter in the history of the Nationals. Michael A. Taylor out there and a whole bunch of other guys. Kevin Franzen. I mean, all the September guys and some of the AAA guys were on the field with Jordan other than Wilson Ramos.
The craziest part about that no-hitter is like 400 guys played for the Nats in that game. I mean, it was the last game of the year. If you don't remember, Matt Williams was subbing everybody in, trying to keep guys off their feet. That's the guy that tried to break it up. But I think he used the whole roster, 21 guys, something like that, close to the whole roster that day.
And Christian Yelich hit that ball. Martin Prado base hit up the middle first time. Jordan Zimmerman outside 1-1. He's thrown only 30 pitches. And he's facing the first batter, 4th inning.
Wasn't Wilson Ramos the only guy to play the whole game?
He was. Up the middle again. Martin Prado can flat out hit. He's now 11 for 25 career against Jordan Zimmerman, 440.
Dollar Hot Dogs presented by Hatfield. It returns Monday, August 3rd. Nats take on the Diamondbacks, 7:05 start. You can purchase these hot dogs until the start of the 6th inning when you're so completely sick of them you just can't eat another one. Get your game tickets now at nationals.com.
Absolute delight at being at the ballpark for that young man. Yelich hits a ball hard to left, but Jason Worth right there. Not Steven Souza Jr. 1 out.
Well, if you remember in Boston, and I think one other time this year, Jason Worth has had trouble with a low-line drive at him in left field. It's a position that he hasn't played that often in the major leagues, and he says the ball comes off different than he's used to in right field. So his first game back, he gets a low-line drive. a play that he's misjudged. I remember Big Poppy hit him one in Boston. He ran in on it, went over his head. So nicely done there. Maybe getting used to it with his rehab assignments, playing more left field, even though DH'd a few times.
Here's Casey McGee, who hit the ball hard first time. Hot shot to Rendon, who threw him out. Good curveball there by Jordan to start him off. Casey McGee, big fella, 6'1", 220, 32 years of age now. Pretty good home run hitter for Milwaukee. But he hit 4 for the Brewers last year. Actually here last year. And that is foul as the ball went off to the other side. And a couple for the Giants this season.
I'm just looking at this lineup and how it's constructed for the Marlins this year and wondering how Giancarlo Stanton has 27 home runs. I mean, there's no other real deep threat in the lineup when you look at their numbers. And why would you pitch to Stanton?
At all.
At all, ever. Maybe guys trying to pitch around him or trying so hard they overthrow pitches and leave him out and he hits them out of the yard. And if he played in any other ballpark, he'd have 40 by now.
Yeah, interesting. He's been out for a while. Still tied for #1 in homers with Bryce and with Todd Frazier. He's still in the top 3 in RBIs, tied with Buster Posey and Frazier, behind Goldschmidt and Arenado. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Casey McGee. Double play guy if you can get the ground ball. And the breaking ball is chopped straight down.
That's the roof.
Right-hander Nick Pivetta goes to the Phillies. It's official now for Jonathan Papelbon. Fastball away, a good one. And of course, Jonathan Papelbon had an option on his contract for next season. And the Nationals, in making that deal, have picked up that option. So this is no 2-month rental. Two balls, 2 strikes to Casey McGee. Zimmerman deflects, and that'll be a 1-4-6-3 double play. Jordan gets up, appears to be all right.
That was close, and that was scary.
So Michael A. Taylor will lead off in the 5th. We'll have another look at that madness in a few moments. It'll be Taylor, Zimmerman, and Rendon. Michael A. lighting it up lately.
And it seems like Jordan Zimmermann always gets some close calls. And if you remember last year, I could be mistaken, but I always remember weird stuff like this. Didn't Jordan get hit in the right shoulder from a Casey McGee line drive? It looked like it was going at his head. And this time, it barely misses him for what, a 1-4-6-3 double play?
Yeah. And Alan Porter had to get out of the way up the middle, the umpire as well, who was set up inside the bag. Here it comes. Got the leather up. Taylor turns on one. He's 1 for 2 with the Nationals' second base hit of the night. That's big. You're leading Jose Fernandez 1-0. A good bunting pitcher coming up and great speed at first.
Well, he just missed one his first time up, maybe right off the sweet spot of the bat to left field in the short swing by Michael Taylor. And I think you're seeing the advantage of the fact that they're scouting Taylor and they know that he's laying down bunts to third. You saw Prado in, he hit it right by him.
Jordan Zimmermann couldn't deaden it, and it was caught on a fly by Fernandez.
Good read by Michael Taylor at first. And as a base runner, when a guy's bunting, you have to see the down angle off the bat. If you see it up, you got to stay home. And he knew that Jose Fernandez is a good athlete. He stayed right at first base.
Taylor, by the way, now over his last 6 games, he's 9 for 26.
Tough read for the runner on first. Look at, he wants to go. He checked over his shoulder to see where D. Gordon was. That was perfect.
Anthony Rendon, 2 fly balls to center. 0 for 6 with an RBI since his return.
Hit the last one to deep left center.
And that front door breaking ball gets a strike. Rendon 0 for 5 career against Fernandez. Hitless in only 2 career games in this ballpark. It's a good number. Got a fastball, rams it to left, and Dietrich just could not make a play on that ball. If he chances going after that one, that could go to the wall. And the Nats are making serious contact in the 5th inning.
Well, if he's a true left fielder, he makes a play, he comes in on him. How quick is Anthony Rendon swing tonight? Just missed one last time up. And this time gets to a mid to upper 90s fastball in the inner half. Like a snake striking. That ball was crushed. 2 hard hit balls here in the 5th for the Nats. Some strong chin music going on there too by Rendon. I like the look. That's a true goatee.
Here's Escobar 0 for 1 with a walk. Has a career RBI against Fernandez. And the breaking ball low. 75 pitches, 1 out, 5th inning. Now that these guys are back in the lineup, this is a lineup where you can make guys work. You talked about 5 or 6 guys that are dangerous at any given time. It's a whole different deal for the Nats offensively right now. Escobar thought it was a fastball.
Well, and now the key to stay healthy and lock in together as a unit. They haven't been together since May 15th. They haven't had all 8 regulars all season. So what do I mean? Well, know who's hitting behind you, know who's hitting in front of you, know how they're going to pitch me because of that. They haven't had continuity yet as an offensive ball club all year long.
Did he take it? No. Ben May rings him up for strike 2.
Well, check swing's a big deal with Yunel Escobar. We've seen it kind of hurt that wrist. So even though he said he went, the main thing is there that it didn't hurt his wrist.
Battle begins now on 1 and 2. Great take. Ball was a strike for a while.
Hit speed 98. This one's higher. I'm calling. Yeah.
Tries to bolt the fastball. He misses, and the count goes full.
Making him work. Start the runners right here. I say yes.
Good contact guy in there.
Good speed on the bases. Strike thrower. All adds up.
He shortens up with 2 strikes and bats .321. Yeah, good speed out there. They're holding, and Escobar takes the breaking ball low. They're loaded for Jason Worth.
Lisan, check out Yunel Escobar more than the pitch and watch his reaction. Slider, ball down. No. Fish ain't biting. Ball 4. No. Not my first rodeo head shake right there, I believe.
Pitching coach Chuck Hernandez to the mound. Huge spot now in Jason Worth's 3rd at bat. First time up, struck out on a breaking ball. Second time up, breaking ball had him reaching on a ground ball to short. And home records in jeopardy.
Well, on July 13th, 2013, the Nats had a 1-0 lead off Jose Fernandez in the 9th. Rafael Soriano blew the save. That streak would have been dead that day.
Yeah.
The Marlins ended up tying that game in the 9th and went on to win it. But the streak was in jeopardy 2 years ago.
He's never walked more than 4 in a game. Escobar twice tonight. Harper once, Zimmerman once. Way inside Jason Worth, ball 1. Worth has 12 RBIs. 4 career against this right-hander. Threw him a strike, and it's fouled out of play off to the right. Leading off the inning, Michael A. Taylor clean single to left. Jordan Zimmerman failed to bunt him over. Rendon sent him to second with a solid hit. And then the Escobar walk on a 3-2 pitch. Big gap in left center. A lot of room left field line. Worth chops it left side. He's really going to have to hurry. And the Marlins turn the around the horn 5-4-3 double play. Financial strand a couple. They've left 5. They've had chances to bust it against Fernandez. It's official now, a 6-time All-Star and one of the more prolific closers in big league history joins the Nats in Jonathan Papelbon. Last 3+ seasons with the Phils. 2-1, 1.59 this year, 17 for 17. Those are his career numbers at the age of 34. A guy who the Nats haven't been able to do a whole lot against in the late innings over the years, and now he is going to don the curly W. PNC minor league report for the achiever in you from PNC Bank. Nick Pivetta, 22, selected in the 4th round of the draft 2 years ago out of New Mexico Junior College. And he was sent to the Phillies, 7-6 with a 3.02 ERA. 18 games, 17 starts between Potomac and Harrisburg this year.
So the way I'm looking at it, just a blockbuster deal. One pitching prospect for Anthony Rendon, Jason Worth, Ryan Zimmerman, and Jonathan Papelbon. Yeah. It's a good day.
It'll take us till tomorrow morning to figure out how the Nats fare in this one.
And hopefully Denard Span and Steven Strasburg.
Strasburg next scheduled to go on a rehab start tomorrow. Here's Derek Dietrich, popped up to Desmond early in the count, leading off the 2nd. That's how good Jordan's been. 9 hitters since then, thanks to the double play ball. And overall, he's retired 10 of the last 11. Dietrich just turned 26 on July 18th. Up and down with the Marlins last couple of years.
So, I mean, if you're Drew Storen in this whole thing and Jonathan Papelbon is closing, how do you approach it? And what I would say in an ideal world is, and we had a talk the other day about this, his numbers are frozen right where they are as a closer. Somebody in baseball is going to need a closer, if indeed he is the 8th inning guy. And it's a tough pill to swallow for Drew because he's been as good or better than anybody in baseball. But if you sacrifice for the good of the ball club for 2 months and there's a parade in late October, well then, okay. I mean, easier said than done. Easy for us to say when you have pride and you're working on a 40 save season, you have a chance to really establish yourself and get paid is, you know, an important part too. But I just think that, you know, he's proven that he's a closer. But every once in a while you have to step back and look at the ball club and what's best for the ball club and the big picture. And this isn't about Drew Storen and Jonathan Papelbon. This is about the bullpen having some shortcomings this year. If the group as a whole had been getting the job done, there would have been no need to go out and get somebody else to strengthen the bullpen. Because of injuries, because of underperformance, you have to go out and make that group better. So this isn't about whether Drew Storen is a good closer. This is about that group out there not really getting the job done and having some holes that had to be filled. And hopefully Drew can see it that way. It's so easy to talk about. But as an athlete, you're a competitor. You want to compete. Drew is an adrenaline junkie that really gets off on the 9th inning. So that's going to be hard for him. But getting a ring and winning a World Series won't be hard. And he already has the numbers of a proven closer. He's going to get paid, and he's going to be a closer, if not here, somewhere else.
That was Jordan Zimmerman's first strikeout tonight. JT Realmuto now, the Miami catcher, hit a ground ball to Ian Desmond first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out into right center. So that's a 9-game hitting streak for their catcher. 12 for his last 34.
Okay, this is it, folks. The greatest giveaway in the history of giveaways. First 20,000 fans on August 5th, you get a Jason Worth Chia Pet. Who they're playing is totally irrelevant. You get a Jason Worth Chia Pet. Go to hashtag Worth Chia and follow the Nationals on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can watch your Chia Pet grow like Jason Worth's face. Right?
I will mention that. I will mention that Paul Goldschmidt will be in the ballpark.
I just think I just sold that real well.
Right center. Ichiro plugging the gap. He's going to stop thanks to a good play by Taylor. Look at that throw. Michael A. Taylor not only cut off the ball, but he fired a pill on the fly to second base. And the Marlins have runners at the corners with 1 out.
So that breaks up an 0 for 16 for Ichiro. Nice swing. Ball headed for the gap. Like you said, nice play by Michael Taylor. And he just knew, I mean, he wasn't going to go 0 for the rest of the season. Good read. Runners at the corners. Good route to the ball. Little spin move. And an easy throw right on the money.
Hit number 2,899 in the major leagues for Ichiro. Echeverria hit the ball hard first time, lined out to Bryce Harper. Bryce shading that way toward the line again, and Jordan Zimmerman gets a strike with 89 on the breaking ball.
All right, going for the strikeout, obviously, right here. Echeverria, a free swinger. Runs well, tough to double up. And Justin Bohr moves into the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Virginia guy. Fernandez had 83 pitches through 5 innings. Echeverria, you would think, tough to double up. He's got good speed, but he's hit into 14 double plays. That means he's been hitting the ball sharply to some infielders. That's pretty sharply out to right field, and that'll tie the game. All Bryce can do is get behind it, throw it as hard as he can. Cut off by Zimmerman, and it's 1-1 here in the 5th inning. And now Fernandez will hit.
Oh, he did the old switcheroo. So this game, a pair of sac flies.
Yeah, Jose hiding back in the tunnel with his gear to hit. 2 outs in the inning now and a runner at first base.
Nice piece of hitting by Echeverria.
Right-hander Sam Dyson for the Marlins. Right now their closer is A.J. Ramos, taking over for Steve Cishek, who has dealt to St. Louis last week. Ramos is 16 out of 18. And they say that Carter Capps, their 8th inning guy, is throwing the daylights out of the ball. No balls, 1 strike to Fernandez. Right off the end of the bat. Fastball, and he had a big time rip.
He's yelling at himself. You can hear it all the way up here. He's thinking he should have hit that one off the Pinocchio Dolphins or something. Here's what it sounded like. Listen. Competing.
Might buy him a breaking ball, I was thinking.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Oops.
And he'll bust his bat on the ground. Marlins tie the game. Top of the 6th, it'll be Harper, Zimmerman, Desmond. This one back even.
check out Jose Fernandez v. Bryce Harper, part 1. In the second inning, Bryce leading off the second. Seems like he leads off an awful lot of innings, doesn't it, folks? And you see the first one is a walk, 43 straight road games on base. Second one, a questionable strikeout. And here we go, round 3 of Larry leadoff, Bryce Harper.
Inside some numbers with Jeep and velocity off the bat. Harper with the hottest average hit speed. I mean, he's gone from what, 105 or so, and then some bloops fall in here and there.
I'd like to see how many innings Bryce Harper's let off this year. It seems like a lot.
So because they tied the ball game, Jose Fernandez still out there. That was his 84th pitch of the night. Jordan Zimmerman's thrown 56 pitches in 5 innings. And breaking ball stays out there, 2-0. Well hit right between third and short, because they were shading him up the middle with Echeverria, and Bryce Harper on base for the second time.
Bullet, like a fastball up and away. Not too many left-handed hitters could get on top of a 97-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. Usually that's a fly ball to left. Bryce Harper's strong enough to get on top, drive it that way. So leadoff man aboard here. Nats trying to answer in the 6th.
So the Nats box will show Rendon a hit up there, a couple of walks by Escobar. Harper on twice. Ryan Zimmerman, good night so far, double and a walk, and the RBI sac fly. Second inning by Wilson Ramos. Michael A. Taylor checking in with a base hit as well. Zimmerman now 3 for 7 career against Fernandez, and on base 4 times on him in 8 plate appearances.
So I'm seeing that Noah Syndergaard has 18 up, 18 down working.
Oh boy. 7 strikeouts, perfect through 6 against San Diego. That chopper will even the count at 2-2. Way inside. Spun him back to his right, and the count goes full.
Aren't you obligated as a play-by-play guy right there to say look out? I feel like you are. At least everybody else does. Actually, like you didn't say. I mean, he's not going to hear you. Every play-by-play guy says look out. After it, it's too late then. And plus, he's not going to hear you.
It's like a guy hollering at the ump from the third deck. Zimmerman got under that one. Off speed at 88. Martin Prado. Fair ball, 1 out.
Just missed a good swing.
96 pitches his last time out for Fernandez. 66 strikes. That was in 7 innings, and a 3-1, or actually a 3-0 win at Arizona. He has overmatched Ian Desmond twice with some nasty breaking balls, and that one's up and in.
And you didn't say it. Good job.
Usually lookouts on fastballs,
yeah,
or
true.
foul balls rifling into the seats.
That's true.
Ooh, now that was a breaking ball that got some plate.
And you could have said look out on that one, because if he squared that up, it's still going. Pretty healthy hack by Ian Desmond and an on-time swing. I don't think you'll see another slider from Fernandez in the strike zone anywhere near.
One and two with one out. And that time Ian did extend to get a piece of that breaking pitch to stay alive.
It's a tricky thing for Fernandez right here. He really wants to expand the zone away on the slider from Desmond, but in doing so, he risks that if Desmond doesn't swing, that ball gets away. Bryce Harper gets to second base in a 1-1 game in the 6th. So maybe not as inclined to really expand right here based on the score and the part of the game.
Ian Desmond on an 82-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Kind of like Fernandez took a little bit off it right there. And that'll be his 5th strikeout tonight. Ian 3 times.
That's the slurvy slider. You know, he's got the sharp one he throws in the mid-80s, starts it away, breaks it off. That one more of a curveball-ish, if you will, slider for strike 3.
Up to Wilson Ramos with 2 outs. So a sac fly to right and lined out hard to center on a ball that almost took off over Christian Yelich.
Wilson has that easy swing going all of a sudden, the effortless one where the ball jumps. When he gets real handsy and uses those big paws of his and doesn't incorporate the upper body as much, that's when you see the ball jump off the bat of Ramos. And right now he's got the handsy swing going.
1-0 pitch and a hot shot to short. Echeverria. Game stays tied. Middle of the 6th inning. Is that it for Fernandez? We'll see. Top of the order coming up for the Fish.
We thought it would be a pitcher's duel here tonight. 2 of the best in the National League going toe-to-toe. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Been an eventful night for Jordan Zimmerman. This might be a key play in the game. D. Gordon led this 1-1 tie off with the single. He tried to steal second. Jordan Zimmerman stepped off. Fielded his position nicely. That a D. Gordon comebacker. Then look out. Got Charlie Brown by Casey McGee, but it turned into a double play. He's okay, and that's good news. So an eventful night on the mound for Jordan Zimmerman, to say the least. This a key at bat in this ball game, keeping D. Gordon off first.
Zimmerman averaging 13 pitches per inning. D. Gordon hit a comebacker to him last time up, and he jacks one high in the air to right center. Gonna plug the gap, and that hits the wall, and that's an easy stand-up triple for him. Triple number 5 on the year for that speedster.
Better leadoff hitter in baseball, go. I don't know. D. Gordon, 33 stolen bases. The average climbing at a 2 for 3 in his return from the DL, and a leadoff triple here in the 6th.
Yeah, he does something that Billy Hamilton really doesn't do, and that's get on base a lot.
Well, yeah, Billy Hamilton's hitting about 220. This is a home run in a lot of ballparks. Not here at Marlins Park, but a leadoff triple.
Tough situation here. Prado handles the bat. 2 for 2 with ground ball hits up the middle, infield in, opening up some wider spaces for him. Now he's 3 for 3, and he's given the Marlins the lead. And the pitcher of record is Jose Fernandez.
And he's going to be on the first guy on the top step to welcome D. Gordon back to the dugout. There he is. Helmet taker offer guy. Is in line for the win is Martin Prado, professional hitter. Slaps a single to left. Gordon tags up just in case Jason Worth makes the catch. And watch Jose Fernandez, who's always into it. Love the passion from that guy. He loves the game.
Yelich base hit. Runner going to third. Harper guns it over there. Safe, and the batter goes to second.
Nats need a 20-second timeout. Marlins making a run. So leadoff triple, single by Prado, and now a little first and third action. Christian Yelich, who's not really known for pulling the baseball. And that was close at third. And the right throw by Bryce Harper to the right base, right on the money, but Yelich sees it goes to third and advances to second. How close was this? Did he stay on the base? He did.
A pretty good pick by Escobar right there. Casey McGee, but first Steve McCatty to the mound.
Here's the 20-second timeout.
Well, this was the beginning of the third time around the batting order. Aaron Barrett getting ready. So Jordan Zimmerman gave up 3 hits in 4 innings. He's given up 5 now in the last 1+ inning. Gordon with that triple, base hit earlier. He has 124 hits. Prado 3 for 3. Yelich a base hit. Their RBI earlier, the sac fly last inning by Adeiny Echeverria after singles by Real Muto and Suzuki. Fastball in there. And a bouncer gets through Ramos but stays close.
Yeah, this is where you're pitching for the strikeout all the way. I mean, whatever he's got left in the tank, you're going to empty it right here. That's why Steve McCatty came out. How are we going to pitch this guy? Just giving him a breather when you give up 3 quick hits like that. Sometimes it can get away quickly. But 61 pitches, 44 for strikes.
Casey McGee late for 93. Strike 2. Quick note, Will Venable has broken up the Syndergaard no-hitter in New York. Right now the Nats trying to fight to keep this a 2-1 game.
Trying to climb the ladder and getting Casey McGee to chase that fastball up. Not a bad idea.
Bouncing ball right side. Runners stay. Rendon to Zimmerman. 1 out.
Big out. And the reason the Marlins were going contact right there is Prado doesn't run well, number one. But number two, with nobody out, you still got another chance right here. They may switch to contact, meaning that Prado's going to go on a ground ball. You see, he had no interest in going. Hard hit ball to Rendon, looks him back. Big first out here in the sixth. Jordan Zimmerman trying to wiggle his way out of it. And Wilson Ramos going to give him some more time to regroup.
Derek Dietrich has popped up and struck out. 14th ball game at the big league level this year, 31 at bats. They're going to walk him and take on the catcher, Real Muto.
I get the right matchup. Got a strike throw on the mound, so bases loaded, irrelevant. You set up a double play. I like the move.
Jordan Zimmerman's first walk of the night. Real Muto has bounced into 6 double plays this year. It'll be a good matchup because he's also hot. Base hit last time up and a 9-game hitting streak. It was his first career hit in 10 at bats against Jordan Zimmerman. So here we go, righty with the bases loaded.
I think you make him aware of the fastball in here early in the count, whether it's a strike or off the plate, and go with the slider away off of that. You know, he's going to be anxious. The younger players have a tendency to swing early in big situations. They're the ones with the fast heartbeat. So if Jordan Zimmerman can take advantage of that with Real Muto up there, there's a chance to get out of this inning. You'd think he'd be swinging early because he's amped up.
'89 on the inside edge. Little chopper. That's going to score a run. Escobar's only play to first base. 3-1 Miami.
Well, you put the ball play, good things happen. Good pitch by Jordan Zimmerman, didn't go the way he would have liked it. But Real Muto gets the job done. High fives in the dugout. Martin Prado scores the 3rd run of the night for the Marlins.
2-run inning. Now they're going to walk Ichiro and take on Echeverria. Ichiro had a base hit to right center last time up.
It's the loudest it's been in Marlins Park all night. I mean, this is a resume walk. And then you want the right on right matchup. Last time out, Ichiro had a base hit. But Echeverria's seen it well too. He lined out to right his first time up, sacked fly to right his last time up, hit it hard both times.
Well, the Nats had the bases loaded in the 5th inning. The double play ball ended that. And now the Marlins have answered with 2 here in the 6th after a run in the 5th. Zimmerman goes to the full windup. Good looking slider, just missing. Interesting bunch of RBIs, but not a lot of batting average with the bases loaded career. Off the end of the bat, Ryan Zimmerman comes in and goes right to the bag, and the inning's over. Jordan limits the damage after the first 3 men reach base. Nats now by 2.
Taylor's set to lead off the 7th for the Nationals. Taylor had been in the Nationals leadoff spot overall for much of the last couple weeks with Denard Span on the disabled list, but tonight it's Anthony Rendon in the leadoff spot for Matt Williams and the Nationals. And Williams implied earlier today that Rendon might be his leadoff hitter for, well, the time being, really. What it does is it bumps Taylor down to the 8th spot in the order. Williams said that's a good thing because it provides some speed at the bottom of the Nationals order, something that they really haven't had a ton of with Taylor leading off. Rendon's a good option to lead off for the Nationals because he works deep into counts. He sees a lot of pitches and he grinds out at bats. And with him hitting atop of Yunel Escobar and Bryce Harper and now Jason Worth and Ryan Zimmerman, the Nationals guys are getting back a lot of their lineup that they expected to have this season. They're just without Denard Span, their normal leadoff guy. So Rendon's going to plug that hole for now.
And a guy who can hit just about anywhere you need him to do. Now, Christian Yelich goes from center to left. The new center fielder is Cole Gillespie. He'll be batting 9th and leading off the 7th. And the new pitcher is right-hander Brian Morris.
Fastball 95, slider 84, changeup 89. 38th appearance, 35 strikeouts, 15 walks. League hitting 288.
First pitch hacking, foul ball. Martin Prado wasn't going to play umpire there. He was going to go after it. Third base umpire Mark Ripperger called it foul.
Well, Michael Taylor Sunday in Pittsburgh, a little opposite field job. Looks like a Nats fan might have caught it right there.
Taylor against Morris, 1-for-1 career. Low breaking ball that Michael A couldn't reach. And then Tyler Moore is on deck. For the 7th, Sammy Solis. They'll have Gillespie and then D. Gordon again. And Taylor just guiding one to right field. Hit it pretty well, but it's out to Ichiro for the out. So next up will be Tyler Moore, who is 2-for-3 career, with a homer and 2 RBIs against this right-hander.
All right, here's your fan photo of the game, sponsored by T-Mobile. And it's Tracy Callahan in the bunch at Nats Park, and it looks like Denard Span is the hitter. All right, Tracy, thanks for your picture. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. Use hashtag NatsCouchCam, and you might see yourself in the right-hand corner of a broadcast.
Tyler Moore, fly ball left field, Yelich. Top of the order now, Rendon.
It's kind of hard to play catch up in this ballpark because, you know, it's hard to pop one out of here. It's going to take the line to move here for the Nats to figure this one out.
Rendon, clean hit to left field. Last time up, 1-for-3. Morris has come out throwing strikes. Anthony, 1 plate appearance against him career, base on balls. Into the 9 o'clock hour here, Marlins Park in Miami. A run in the 5th, 2 in the 6th that put Miami on top. And 2-1 right in there.
He was looking fastball, got the slider up, and I think he thought it was up.
And Rendon will foul one straight back. Jordan Zimmerman goes 6 innings tonight. 8 hits, 3 runs, both walks intentional. Struck out 2. He threw only 76 pitches, 50 strikes. But the Marlins went up and attacked him in a hurry in the 6th. 3 straight hits. Really changed this ball game around. Three and 2.
I mean, 2-run game, huge ballpark. If you're Anthony Rendon, you're thinking fastball all the way here, 3-2. There shouldn't really even be another thought. Does he get it? Let's see. But, you know, if he represents the tying run, I could see a slider right here. But should be a fastball.
Wide spread on the Mercedes-Benz at bat. 3-2 and a good AB by Anthony Rendon. He's on second time in a row. That'll get Escobar up with Worth on deck here in the 7th.
And normally you'd think the top of the 7th, 2 outs, down by 2, the steal's not in play. But in a ballpark where you have to manufacture runs and get a lot of hits to score, I definitely think the steal's in play here. If they're giving it to Rendon and not paying attention, heads up.
Escobar 1 for 2 career with 2 RBIs against Brian Morris.
Likes first pitch.
Right on the edge with 95. Big gap right center. Time had been given by Jeff Kellogg. No pitch.
Oh, a long pause right there, and you know Escobar got a little bit antsy, called timeout late, and was granted it.
Left-hander Mike Dunn for the Marlins.
For Bryce Harper.
Escobar around early, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Escobar slow roller, stabbed by Morris before it could get any farther. The Nats have stranded 7 base runners tonight. South Beach all lit up in its neon colors on a Tuesday night in the heat of summer. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch from Miami. The Nats led 1-0. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Looking live at Piranha's Deadly Fish in the Marlins tank behind home plate. Don't stick your hand in there as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Peanuts are back in town August 1st and 2nd. Goonies night and Mike Cameron's induction in the Hall of Fame. For all your tickets and information, go to PotomacNationals.com.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Sammy Solis on for the Nats. The hitter, Cole Gillespie, strike one.
And see the arsenal for Sammy. Fastball average at 93, curveball 82, changeup 84.
Right at the knees of beauty.
10th appearance, ERA at 4.97, 9 strikeouts to 3 walks, and opponents hitting .265 off Solis.
And a breaking ball taken by the 31-year-old outfielder, Cole Gillespie. Big league time, parts of 4 years with Arizona, Giants, Cubs, and last year Seattle and Toronto. Minor league free agent signing by the Marlins last November. That's going to sneak its way right up the middle. The Marlins have now out-hit the Nats 9-4. And 6 of those hits in the last 3 innings. Top of the order, D. Gordon, who ignited that rally last inning with the leadoff triple.
Yeah, that was the at-bat of the game for me in a 1-1 ball game with the speed that Gordon has. You know, he's been very aggressive early in the count guy and slapped a triple in the gap in right center. Might have been a home run in a lot of ballparks. But I do think definitely the key at-bat of this game.
Sammy Solis did face the Marlins in D.C. and D. Gordon 0 for 1 against him.
See, this is the old sacrifice, but if I lay it down perfect, I'm going to give myself a hit. I love the approach right here. Maybe in a 2-0 count they change it up. But with his speed, it's a full-on 4-alarm fire drill when he lays one down. So not a bad idea by the Marlins.
Outside, 3-0.
Talk about the behind bullpen being just as important as the ahead bullpen. Sammy Solis trying to keep this a 2-run deficit and give the Nats a chance.
Escobar well onto the grass at third. 3-1 pitch. Lays one down. He's off to the races. Solis makes a good play, but he's safe. 2 on, nobody out. And upon his return, D. Gordon is 3 for 4.
Matt Williams has his hand up. He's on the top step. They're going to look at this one in the clubhouse for sure. But a beautiful bunt by D. Gordon and maybe a better play by Sammy Solis to make it even this close. And did he get him? Watch the play by Solis. Bare hand, spin move, get rid of it quick. Throw on the money and
ooh.
Yeah, ooh is right.
The Nats might have had him.
They're challenging. D. Gordon says, I don't know. Perry Hill asked him, what do you say? I don't know. Let's see what we got here with this replay. Survey says oot. I got him oot. What do you got?
I've got him out.
Definitely. What a play by Solis, huh? I mean, when he laid that bunt down, D. Gordon's speed plus the speed of the ball and watching Solis come all the way to the line, you felt like saying, put it in your pocket, Sammy, but he barehanded it, spun, and had the presence to make a good feed and not fling it down the right field line and have everybody running around. How many times have you seen a left-handed pitcher do that in that situation? So not only did he barehand the ball, spin move, pick up his target, and make a throw at the right speed so that Ryan Zimmerman could catch it. That was a great play by the Nats pitcher.
Call made by the junior member of the umpiring crew, Ben May, who will have the plate tomorrow night. He's on your left. That's Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, with the mask. I'm not hearing the reaction from the crowd on these scoreboard replays that they think their guy's safe.
Well, there's a lot of distractions here, Marlins.
A lot of people are dancing and may not be watching.
There's a lot of other things to look at besides you got the Clevelander out there, you got the beautiful artwork in left center field. So why would you look at the scoreboard?
The runner is out. Great play, Sammy Solis.
So it's a sacrifice bunt then for D. Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, watch the play in the spin move, picking up the target, and the velocity and accuracy of the throw is what's impressive here. The momentum wants to take you into the dugout, and you miss your target, throw it down the line. So Sammy Solis just showed everybody what an athlete he is with that play. That was nice.
So their top 2 hitters, with that hit taken away, still have 5 hits tonight. Gordon 2, Martin Prado 3. RBI hit, and they're going to walk him and take their chances lefty-lefty with Christian Yelich.
It's a game of matchups here tonight.
So Prado now against Solis, 1-for-1 career with a base on balls. Christian Yelich hasn't faced him.
It's time for Toyota's intentional walks for kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 for every intentional walk tonight at NIH by Nats pitcher this season. Oh, it's strikeouts, folks, and you know the drill. You hear it every night. Could use one right here. Good pitch.
78 on the breaking ball, a strike. Yelich, a line drive to Worth, a base hit last time to right. Hit a bouncer back to Jordan Zimmerman first time. Fair ball. And now it's going to be 4-1. Runners hold at first and second. And Christian Yelich now gives the Marlins 7 hits from their top 3 hitters tonight.
Well, this is vintage Christian Yelich, inside out swing. That's what he does best. Pulled the ball last time up, but left on left, he's definitely going the other way. And all of a sudden, you got a 4-1 game, Marlins.
So Sammy Solis, the only out he gets is on a fantastic play that he made. The Nats have to come in with a right-hander now, and it'll be Aaron Barrett. Marlins are trying to put this one sort of out of reach. and beyond. And by Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. Futuristic looking ballpark from the outside, isn't it? And pretty much on the inside as well. The Nats haven't won a game in this building this year. And now Casey McGee will face Aaron Barrett. 1 for 3 against him with a run batted in.
Fastball 95, slider 85. Strike one always key for Aaron Barrett.
Comes on a fastball at 93. Casey McGee 0 for 3. He's gone 4-3, 1, 4-6-3, and 4-3 in his ABs tonight.
Why is strike one key? So he can throw a slider. It's a pitch he doesn't throw for a strike all the time. He makes it look like a strike, and it's his out pitch.
There it is, and it's off Barrett, over to Escobar, pounces on it, and that becomes a 1-5-3. Casey McGee bouncing the ball off a lot of guys tonight.
Well, nice play by Yunel Escobar, knowing that Casey McGee doesn't run well and that he had time to make an accurate throw and not freak out, panic, and try to get that job done too quick. He even went with the bare hand, but watch him regroup after the ricochet piece. Bare hand, take your time, flick it over there. Nice play. And another intentional walk. This has to be the most for the Nats this year. It does. It has to be.
And this is Justin Bour, who they bring into pinch hit. And he'll be the 4th batter walked intentionally by 3 different pitchers in the last 2 innings. So it'll be a righty-righty matchup with Barrett and Real Muto.
Does Matt Williams want to pitch to him? Is that what he was saying right there? He's talking to he and Steve McCatty are having an animated conversation. Just trying to be loud so that he can tell him what to do.
McCatty comes out.
I think they're going to, instead of just walking him, maybe see if he'll fish for some 0-2 type pitches. But the danger there, Carp, is with the runner on third base and the Aaron Barrett slider in the dirt is what you want to do.
Risky business with runners at second and third.
I just think with a younger hitter, you can see if they want to expand the zone first before you just put them on. Is he going to be excited? Will he chase? And I think they're going to try throwing some sliders down. Let's see what they do here. They could have went and talked how they're going to face the on-deck hitter, Real Muto. Let's see. Wheels turning, strategy all over the place. Now they're going to pitch to him. I like it. Whatever happens, I like it.
Maybe see if the count goes to 2-0, and then they would walk in.
Or the other way. See if you can tease the strike zone enough to get him to chase your pitch, and you get to 0-1, 0-2, and now you try to put him away.
Justin Bour from Centerville, Virginia. Went to Westfield High School in Chantilly. Played at George Mason. Ball 3.
And you're not seeing sliders because of the runner on third. Exactly what I mentioned. I'm going to guess fastball away.
Walked him on 4.
You may have gotten him to chase had you done that initially, but after you showed that you were going to intentionally walk him, he was already geared down. He wasn't swinging.
Bases loaded again, and this time it's Real Muto.
the thing is, if I don't have a strike thrower on the mound, that's when I start to worry about the bases loaded. And we've seen Aaron Barrett struggle with command this year. And I mean, this is the ball game right here. This at bat, they can't let it go any further than 3-run deficit with 6 outs left.
Fastball away and fouled. This will be close. Bryce Harper under it, and he just couldn't reach in there. Had a long way to go.
The chair get in the way at all? Let's see. I was watching Bryce. You see him take a peek. Which chair was it? It wasn't.
The kid was off the field with that chair, but he sure did on that replay look a little too close to the outfield.
You see Bryce a little peek out of the corner of his eye, like heads up.
Slider low, smothered by Ramos. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fastball hit to right. Harper going back. He's there. Edge of the track, and that's it. Marlins settle for 1 in the 7th, but they've scored in 3 straight innings. Worth, Harper, Zimmerman, 3, 4, 5 coming up. Nats need a bunch. Nats have a tall assignment now for the last 2 innings. They're going to face 2 of the Marlins' best relievers. And if you're on the road traveling, want to watch your Nats, subscribe to MLB.TV Premium. Live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout other restrictions may apply. Visit MLB.TV to check it all out. Carter Capps is throwing as well as anybody in their bullpen right now. He's been setting things up nicely lately for A.J. Ramos.
So he's a guy that jumps at you, and so does the ball. 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Capps. And he was told that jumping forward is okay, but jumping up is not. So you watch his delivery. His foot's not in contact with the mound when he delivers. So he's basically throwing, as you look at the confused look of Jason Worth, from about 55 feet. There's been a lot of talk about his delivery. There's nothing in the rule book that says it's illegal, but I think it is. Look where look where he's going. Rule 8.01 reads, the windup position, the pitcher shall stand facing the batter's pivot foot in contact with the pitcher's plate and the other foot free. It doesn't look like his foot is in contact with the pitcher's plate.
Yeah, shades of Jordan Walden. No swing, says Ben May. On a 0-2 pitch to Worth, who's 0 for 3.
Watch his back foot kind of, and then replant. I think it's okay if it's in the air, but when it replants and he kind of regroups with his foot on the ground and then pushes, that I would have trouble with that as a hitter. Watch it hit and then plant again.
Well, he hung a breaking ball from midair, and Jason Worth has his first knock off the DL. Now Harper, then Zimmerman. Jason Worth now 1-for-1 career against Caps, who had hit him by a pitch previously. And here's Bryce, who has 1 walk in his only plate appearance against this right-hander.
First time tonight he hasn't let off an inning. Nice at bat by Jason Worth. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run an Nats player hit this season. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Harper, hot shot. Echeverria. And they still turn the 6-4-3. Jason Worth did all he could at the bag. Well turned by Dee Gordon.
Well, nice play by Echeverria, because this ball was scorched. And it was hit so hard that even though he didn't field it cleanly, he still had a chance to turn the double play. And Bryce Harper runs well, but watch him keep the ball close, not panic. Good feed. Nice turn by Gordon, like you said. But that ball was smoked. He got the in-between hop. So Cap's not fooling anybody here in the 8th.
Fastball in there to Ryan Zimmerman, who's 1-for-1 career against the righty. And Ryan with a double, a walk, 1 for 2 tonight, after missing 49 games. Padres are batting in the top of the 9th at New York. It's 4-0 Mets. And if things don't change, they could be a game behind the Nats at the end of the night.
Some guy named Clippard is pitching for the Mets right now.
We've heard of it.
Got a good changeup, I heard.
Zimmerman gashes one up the middle.
That's 3 balls hit right on the nose this inning by the Nationals.
Big time return for Ryan.
Might want to skip backwards on this one. A little too close to Ryan Zimmerman. And how about Zimmerman's return? He's hit the ball hard twice tonight, walked on base 3 times. So a nice night for Ryan Zimmerman, a nice return off the disabled list.
99 miles an hour off the bat. Ian Desmond is 1-for-1 career against Caps. And he gets a breaking ball for a strike.
From 50 feet 6 inches.
0-2 pitch. Desmond, 4 swinging strikeouts tonight. Nats got a couple of hits, and now they've stranded 8 base runners in 8 innings. It's 3-1 Miami, getting late. Career in 4 starts against him. Tom Kohler goes for the Marlins. Last time he faced the Nats, it was most unpleasant. Bryce Harper, solo homer second, 2-run homer in the third, another solo in the 5th. Bryce got the same pitcher for all 3 of those on Wednesday, May 6th, in a 7-5 Nationals victory.
Be sure to text Masson's word of the day Wednesday, which is tomorrow, and today is Tuesday, but text Wednesday to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Matt Williams. Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse, where there's no worry Wednesdays. It's all coming together. Their menu is now available on Sundays.
Marlins seeing Felipe Rivero for the first time. Ichiro sees a heater 95 on the inside half. Suzuki, Echeverria, and Gillespie. For the Marlins, bottom of the 8th, and A.J. Ramos, their closer, warming up. Right back to the pitcher. Rivera will run it over to Ryan Zimmerman. Next up, the shortstop. Danny Echeverria 0 for 2, sac fly tonight. Tied the ball game up in the 5th. Nats have been able to muster just 1 run on 6 base hits. In there. A.J. Ramos, 16 saves. He's blown 4, but only 2 of them have been as the closer. The other 2 were those, 7th and 8th inning things that happen to guys, and they get charged with a blown save even though they weren't eligible for a save. And Echeverria turns an 0 for 2 into a 1 for 3.
Is there a better 8th hitter in baseball than Danny Echeverria? He came in tonight hitting .316 in the 8th spot of the order and .205 at every other spot. So add a 1 for 3 onto that, and his average goes up at an 8th.
A rare ability indeed in this league.
Right. I mean, they tried him in other spots because he's hitting so well, but he hasn't worked there.
There's Cole Gillespie. He scored their run after starting the 7th inning with a base hit after coming into play center field. with the runner on the move. Pretty good hack the other way.
Little hit and run baseball there by the Marlins. I don't think that was a straight steal.
And Jennings going for the jugular here, trying to go up by 4 heading to the 9th.
What if Felipe Rivero jumped at a hitter and his foot landed 5 feet in front of the, and he throws 97? Would it register 99 and 100 like Caps? I'm wondering if he throws harder because he's closer. And
yeah,
if he threw from the plate, it would be, or the rubber.
Good question.
Yeah. I mean, if you can control your body, why wouldn't everybody jump off the mound, replant as far down the hill as you could, and then throw? Just, you know, thinking out loud right now. Having never pitched, I know it would not be fun to hit against that.
Absolutely not. And the strikeout coming from Nissan, 2 down.
Nasty. It's been fun to watch Felipe Rivero grow into the role, whatever role they've asked him to do, and just know that he can pitch here, and every single time he gets on that mound, just see the confidence grow and grow and grow, and his stuff grow with it. He can be a big league closer. I'm convinced of that somewhere.
Well, maybe tomorrow night at this time we'll be getting ready to watch Jonathan Papelbon close the game for the Nats. Just in case you missed it, runner going right there, and he jumped over the tag. He went in, kind of did a swim move on Ian Desmond, and the second base umpire, Alan Porter, just called Echeverria safe.
Before I say this is the greatest slide of all times, I have to see the replay to see if Ian Desmond tagged him. Desmond asking for a challenge. Matt Williams going to look at it. But watch this slide, folks. What did he do right here to miss the tag? Just did the swim move around Ian Desmond, hooked the foot on the base, and did Desmond tag him? Oh, I don't know if he did. What a slide by Echeverria. Watch him take the left arm away, give it, take it away, and still maintain his momentum past the bag. Unbelievable effort by Echeverria, and we'll see how this thing goes. I couldn't tell in the replay if he got him. Could you? Exmo never lies. What do you got, Exmo? Yeah, it looks like he got him, right? Is that enough to overturn it, though?
Yeah, because he was called safe, so they have to be absolutely sure Desmond made the tag. I saw the shadow of the glove go over the body. Did the glove get him? Nats, of course, have a challenge left.
It's up on the board now, Carp. Check it out. And we're going to look at it together. This is on the video board, the same angle we just showed you. What do you got? He's out.
Got him.
Right there.
Great attempt, but it's a caught stealing 2-6. And the bottom of the 8th is over. Now the Nats have to deal with A.J. Ramos and need at least a 3-run rally. Facing the new Miami closer. Echeverria, great effort on the slide and the swim move, but Ian Desmond just able to get him with the glove. A.J. Ramos, been around for a while. He's 28 years of age. It's his 4th year in the big leagues. And Steve Cishek, of course, the big man around here for a number of years, but he's in St. Louis now. So they turned the job over to Ramos to see what he can do the rest of the year.
Yeah, fastball 93, slider 82, changeup 86. And the Nats need a few base runners. How about 2 bloops and a bomb?
Ramos matchup, and Wilson 2 for 6 with a solo home run career against AJ. Over near the line, Martin Prado. 1 pitch, 1 out. Doug Fister tomorrow night. And for the Marlins, Tom Kohler. And by the way, Tom Kohler's recovered some from that Bryce Harper game. He's 8-6 with a 3.16 ERA, and the league only hitting .231 against him.
And that's 2-41 this year when trailing after 8. And that record applies to most teams. So that's not out of the ordinary. Just haven't had a whole lot of comebacks in the 9th this year, like they did last year.
Michael A. Taylor, 0 for 1 career against A.J. Ramos. And then Clint Robinson on deck to hit for Felipe Rivera.
Taking a strike all the way, trying to get on base.
And Taylor works the count to 3-1.
That's a strange pitch to me. Up by 3 runs, a 2-1 count, and you throw a slider. I know Ramos is known for his slider, but this is challenge time. Here it is, hit it. If you get on, tip your cap. But you don't want to be tinkering with the strike zone up by 3.
Then he misses.
It was the 2-1 slider, not that 3-1 cutter.
Right.
I mean, you throw a 2-1 fastball up by 3 every single time right there. In this ballpark where it's 800 feet to left center field, see how far you can hit it. Trying to trick him.
Yeah, that's in the what are they thinking category.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes back to haunt him.
Clint Robinson will face A.J. Ramos for the first time. Overall numbers for Clint as a pinch hitter, 4 for 19 with 2 RBIs. Robinson had a double in 4 trips at Pittsburgh the other day, so he hit nearly 290 in his time as a regular.
Anthony Rendon's been seeing it big. His swing is quick. Huge at bat right here, trying to get on for him.
Changeup. AJ's going to throw all his pitches. Anthony Rendon is next. This thing gets real interesting if he loses Clint Robinson. Ball 3.
If you're Clint Robinson, 1 pitch, 1 spot. Otherwise, you have to have a leadoff hitter's mentality right here and get the tying run of the plate. Doesn't mean you're taken here, but just 1 pitch in 1 zone.
Robinson, that ball tailing toward the line. It's a fair ball. Over to third, Taylor. Robinson heading for second. And about all you can ask is to get the tying run in the batter's box in the 9th inning, and it'll be Anthony Rendon.
But you see Clint Robinson with the extended playing time, being an everyday guy. Now Matt Williams asked him in the 9th inning to give him a good at-bat off the bench, and he can because he's played so much. If you sit around as a bench guy for 2 weeks and try to go up there against A.J. Ramos, who knows? the fact that Robinson has played a lot, a nice swing. Second and third. Game on.
Anthony Rendon 1 for 4 career against A.J. Ramos.
That's how you come back in this ballpark. You have to keep the line moving. It's hard to hit one out of here.
Outfield real deep. This ballpark, it almost looks like a no triples defense.
Yeah, good call.
Now the Nats have gathered 3 hits in the last 2 innings. Escobar on deck. Rendon on base twice tonight. Breaking ball drops in there.
I mean, and if you want to get real technical, A.J. Ramos has come and set twice like Aaron Barrett used to. And Joe West made Aaron Barrett change his delivery. But watch him, if you give it the wide shot of his hands come and set, he comes set twice. Watch. Once, twice.
That was a changeup on a 1-1. (4-1) Miami. Top of the 9th inning.
Get your pitch and try to run into one.
Ramos might have closer stuff, but he's not showing much of a closer mentality here. Nationals' best contact guy on deck. 3-1 count. That is a called strike somewhere around the inside edge.
Oh, Rendon didn't like it. Let's see what Pitch Track thinks. And regardless, it's a 3-2 count. A big pitch coming in this ball game for Anthony Rendon. Does Ramos go with the 3-2 slider?
Yes, he does. And he doesn't get the call. The catcher looked like it was strike 3. The pitcher looked like it. And the bases are loaded for Yunel Escobar. That was close.
I mean, just a sign of today's game, I just looked down the Marlins dugout and 3 guys ran in the tunnel to see if this pitch was a strike, and it could have gone their way. Very close pitch by Ramos. Goes Anthony Rendon's way, and maybe it was because of the previous pitch that was close, but bases loaded, 1 out for Yunel Escobar. Here they come. Nats 2-41 when trailing after 8, making a bid right here in the 9th. Mike Dunn for Bryce Harper, it would seem, correct?
Yeah. Still 2 hitters away. So it's Escobar with Worth on deck. Yunel Escobar against A.J. Ramos. Is 1 for 5 career. Tonight he's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. He just put a fast runner on first base too, the tying run, in case there's a gapper. That's a front door breaking ball that misses in.
Starting to get tight out there. You can see it.
With 1 out, Michael A. Taylor walked. Clint Robinson delivered the flare down the line for the double pinch hitting, and then Rendon that base on balls. That'll even things up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2, and that one bounced in. Real Muto caught it cleanly.
That was huge. It gets by Real Muto. You have second and third. 4-2 game, and the tying run stand on second. Anthony Rendon, nice stop. Escobar pops it up, but it's back and out of play.
Matt Thornton if the Nats get 3 to tie. Drew Storen if they get 4 to take the lead. Two inside out swing, ground ball. Nats have been killed by the double plays tonight. That's 3 of them, and the game is over. Two hours and 42 minutes for the Marlins to beat the Nats 4-1. They turned 3 double play balls tonight, and every one of them was huge.